A fresh new haircut can do wonders to enhance your mood and self-confidence. But when a trip to the salon goes south, it takes a long time to get past a bad mop chop.
Oh my God!
It's important to always consider your hair type and face shape when picking out a potential cut. But there are also some styles that are pretty much never going to be flattering to anyone. To save you the extended headache of having to grow out a terrible cut, here are some shearing options you should always avoid at the stylist. Wannabe lob. This in-between cut is not quite a bob and not quite long enough to style. The result is that it ends up hanging limply beside your face like a pack of dried-out spaghetti noodles. If you want the lob look, keep the length consistent throughout. Your strand should be short enough to shape your face and still long enough to tuck behind your ears. In other words, don't try stacking your hair in the back if you want some length in the front too. It'll end up looking dated and lopsided. Tugging a tail. If you want to keep your hair long, be careful about too many layers in the front. The slant trim to frame your face used to be a go-to for girls in the early aughts, but it has not aged well at all. Part of the reason the look hasn't lasted is that it's very difficult to style and leaves your ends frizzing out. Not only that, the heavier bottom layer in the back ends up looking like a tail. If you want to add a little oomph and density to a long do, just make sure you're getting layers put in throughout to keep it consistent. Disney Princess do. Shampoo commercials might make mermaid-length hair look nice, but in reality, managing such a massive mane can be quite difficult. And even if you are able to find the extra time it'll take to shampoo and style all that extra hair, it still may age you. Super long hair is also hard to style since even flexible hair tends to fall with so much weight beneath it. The result is that you end up with a dense mop up top that takes twice the time and looks half as good as if you'd maxed out at shoulder blade length. Big bangs. Bangs tend to float in and out of style pretty quickly for a couple of reasons. Sure, there's something very elegant about having a soft layer swept to the side to accent your face, but they also require some dedicated attention to styling. And full coverage bangs are even trickier to maintain because they can grow too long in the blink of an eye and conceal important parts of your face. For women who have wider facial frames too, bangs can make your face look thicker. So for those with forehead management concerns, prepare to devote some serious time and energy to making your bangs work. But for those who have large cheeks or a short chin, think twice before you bang it up. The awkward stage of growing them back out is not worth the fun of experimenting with them. Tight tendrils. For most people, perms are as distant a cultural memory as leg warmers and stocky shoulder pads. But there are still some women who insist their hairdresser pull out the tiniest hot rods to give them tight curls.
How do I look?
I don't know how to answer that.
Most stylists worth their salt would shudder at the very prospect. But if you insist on getting a permanent put into your hair, opt for something a little softer, like beach waves or loose curls. Otherwise, you might end up looking like a walking, talking 80s yearbook photo, and your hair will be unhealthy and brittle to boot. Reverse mullet. It might have been her 8 children that earned Kate Gosselin some small screen time, but it was her terrible haircut that landed her on everybody's "what was she thinking" list. This mixed pixie look came into favor with adult women a few years back, but has since been buried in the never again pile, for good reason. It might be low maintenance and even fun to spike the back while still boasting some substance up front, but combined, it's a chaotic mess that doesn't belong in this century, or any time period for that matter. If you want a swept spike, go for a classic pixie. If you want the volume only on top, try a pompadour on for size. But avoid the reverse mullet at all costs. Even Jennifer Lawrence had to learn that lesson the hard way. Home haircut. When time or money is tight, it may be tempting to reach for your shears and try to give yourself a trim in the mirror. But this is a massive no-no. Even if you have low-maintenance hair and a steady hand, it's rarely possible to cut your own locks without messing up the symmetry or style. So if you're in desperate need of an out-of-salon snip, at least hand the scissors over to a trusted pal instead of trying to go it alone. If not, you may end up paying for that haircut anyway, in more ways than one. Thanks for watching. Click the list icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.